Welcome to Bosco Campus Vision. I am Darsana, Assistant Professor, Postgraduate Department of English, Don Bosco College, Kottiyam. Today I am going to discuss about a topic, Circuit of Culture in Culture Studies, prescribed for Kerala University PG students. Circuit of Culture, what do you mean by this term, Circuit of Culture, or how can we explain this term? The circuit of culture is a theory or framework used in the area of cultural studies. The theory was devised in 1997 by a group of theorists when studying the Walkman cassette player. The term circuit of culture was given by Paul Duguay et al. In 1997. The theory suggests that in studying a cultural text or artifact, we must look at 5 aspects. What are the 5 aspects in circuit of culture? They are its representation, identity, production, consumption, and regulation. We all know that culture studies uses contemporary cultural artifacts to study the society and its culture. Larry Grossberg, an American cultural studies practitioner, defined culture studies as radical conceptualization. How can we define this term, radical conceptualization? This means in order to understand how a cultural site or text or practice or object works, we have to look at it from as many angles and in as many contexts. Here, the culture breaks down into 5 component elements. Then we can understand how a site or a text or practice or object works in terms of representation, identity, production, consumption, and regulation. Moreover, how each of these elements of culture relates to, co-constructs, and is a part of all the others. So we are studying how it works in terms of each element of the circuit of culture. None of these elements ever works alone. They are all very closely connected or interrelated. Let us discuss in detail with the help of one example. Here I am taking cultural text as example. How this cultural flow happens in a text. First one is representation. Representation can be a description or depiction of something or a symbol or substitute for something. That means what the thing means or signifies and to whom. What signify relationships it contains. So representation leads to effective communication, relies on some kind of common understanding between you and me. That common understanding of what something is and what something is not. And Stuart Hall calls this common understanding as conceptual maps. It is integrally connected with language, meaning, and communication. Let us consider our example. That is, in the case of cultural text, what does it signify and to whom? To its creators or authors, to other audience, to you. In what context do you find it? What's going on around it? What kind of language, tone, feelings are involved? And how do they work? How is it structured? What genre conventions does it work with? What does it look, sound, smell, taste and feel like to you and to others? That is important. That is to you and others. That's what Hall explains as conceptual maps, that is, some kind of common understanding establishes between you and me. All these questions are relevant in first section, that is representation. Second one is identity. Processes of identification refers to the ways that the phenomenon itself comes to mean and the related positioning of participants. That means their actions, looks, ideas and behaviors, position, authority and truthfulness, these are understood to have. That means who all the agents involved with the producing, consuming and regulating the thing are. Here identifying the lived cultures, their social relations. Look at the example. Here, who produces, consumes and regulates it? Who would never be involved with it? Why? Who cares about it? Who thinks it is important and why? What do you have to know, understand and believe in order to use it? Then how does the object create insiders and outsiders? Or an us and a them? Who is this us and who is them? Who decides? How? All these questions are relevant in the process of identification. Third one is production. In order to produce an economically successful product, cultural meanings, norms and values are crucial factors requiring consideration. Regarding the production of meaning, the circuit of culture suggests that meanings are produced at several different sites and circulated through several processes and practices. So, production and the dissemination of a product occurs less as transmission by a discrete producer but as continuous circular flow with many in and outputs, like ongoing dialogue within and between all of the constructive processes. That means in production, that is making the thing, inventing it, fabricating it, reproducing it, distributing it, marketing it and paying for all this labor or work and the people who do it. Let us consider our example, that is, who is making or producing this cultural text? What is his or her or their story, socio-economic background, other interest, personal experiences? Then who is paying for it and or backing it? Where is the money coming from? Then how different are the people who are paying for it, making it and thinking it up? All together living in a corporation or all the same person? So all these questions are relevant in the third section, that is production. Then fourth one, consumption. Consumption represents a site where power, ideology, gender and social class circulate and shape one another. It involves the study of particular moments, negotiations, representational formats and rituals in the social life of a commodity. Here, considering our example, the relevant questions are: consumption means, in the case of our culture text, consumption means reading, consuming. Are the people who consume it different from the people who produce it? If so, how different? Is it something you buy? If so, what does it cost? Who can afford it and who can't? Why? How, where, with whom and why do you consume it? Consume in the sense here means watching, reading, listen to, eat. So whatever it is. Is it advertised or marketed? If so, how, where, why, and to whom? So, all these questions are relevant in the fourth part, that is consumption. Last part is regulation, fifth component. The process of regulation can be studied in two interrelated forms. Firstly, the formalized government policies and regulations. Secondly, the less formal and more abstract rendering of a particular pattern and order of signifying practices, so that things or representations relating to this industry appear to be regular or natural. From the term itself, we can understand regulations means some conditions. So when we considering our example, yes, that is in the case of a cultural text. Is it legal or against the rules? What rules? Who makes and enforces them? How or why? Is it obscene? Is it pornographic or subversive? Why and according to whom? So, what kind of certification or acceptance or rubber stamping do you need before you can produce or consume it? Who does this certifying or accepting? So, such type of questions are relevant in the fifth component. All these questions together constitute the term circuit of culture. Let us conclude that the circuit of culture is a cyclic process. All the five elements work together to produce meaning. This circuit of culture is perhaps the most thorough examinations of any cultural artifact, maybe a cultural text or practice or form or whatever it is, any type of cultural artifact. We can see it covers a range of issues and themes, as well as generated as an effective tool to analyze contemporary cultural practices that is going on in our society. Hope all of you understand this session. Thank you.